Imagine the CEO of a Fortune 500 company who generated more revenue than any single competitor suddenly being laid off, not because he failed, but because his revenue streams weren't considered sexy enough by the board. That is the absurd reality unfolding right now in Major League Baseball, where Luis Arias, a man who has statistically, literally, and demonstrably led his league in hits for 2 straight years, the very essence of offensive output, is floating in free agency, unwanted and undervalued by the entire sport.
When a professional assassin's pay is directly correlated to their lethal efficiency, and every other major industry on Earth rewards mastery and consistency, how can baseball justify making its contact king an unmarketable commodity? If you want to understand the stunning financial madness where the market actively punishes pure, undeniable elite performance, you've come to the right place.
Welcome to 609 True News, where we dissect the beautiful, broken systems that govern sports and society. The core of the issue is a fundamental betrayal of baseball's history, and it all revolves around the paradox of Arias being objectively the best hitter in the league while simultaneously being categorized as a below-average offensive player by modern metrics. We need to go back to the basic economic principle. You get rewarded for being consistently better than your peers.
Arias is, by pure volume, better at the central act of hitting than anyone not named Bobby Witt Jr. over the last few seasons, and yet his contract projections barely register compared to his power-hitting counterparts. This disparity is so vast it borders on criminal negligence. Think about the legends. Tony Gwynn, who treated striking out like an existential crisis, built a Hall of Fame career and massive generational wealth on the simple, consistent ability to find the barrel. As Gwynn himself once famously said of his craft, "The whole idea is to get a pitch you can handle and drive it somewhere. I don't care if it's a single, a double, or a home run, just hit it hard." Arias is that philosophy incarnate, maintaining a surreal sub-7% strikeout rate in an era where the league average hovers near 23%. He is defying the gravitational pull of modern pitching.
Yet, as one frustrated, old-school scout, let's call him Sal, lamented to me recently, 20 years ago, a .340 hitter was gold. They were the engine room of the offense. Now, GMs look at Arias and see a beautiful machine built for the wrong decade. It breaks my heart. This is the crux of the conflict, the Moneyball revolution, led by the pervasive influence of advanced analytics, has fundamentally redefined value away from simple contact toward efficiency and power.
We are told, quite correctly, that a walk is as good as a single, and a home run is exponentially better. This is why players like Bobby Witt Jr., who had slightly more hits than Arias in recent years, but also tallied 47 doubles and 23 home runs, secured a massive contract, reportedly nearing $300 million. Compare that to Arias, whose hits are predominantly singles. Now, the counter-argument is fierce and must be addressed head-on.
Teams are not stupid. They are driven by optimizing run expectancy. The analytics departments, guided by figures like Dr. Eva Rossi, an anonymous but powerful director of data for a major club, would argue the data dictates value, not nostalgia. Arias's high-volume singles often result in a net zero run expectancy increase, especially if he grounds out the next 2 times up. Witt might strike out 6 times more than Arias, but when he necks, 40% of his hits are extra base hits.
That's immediate, quantifiable impact. Arias provides a sustained drizzle. We pay for the thunderstorm. According to their metrics, even though Arias led the National League in hits, his overall offensive production, measured by weighted runs created plus, placed him surprisingly below league average because singles and low walk rates simply don't generate the volume of runs that doubles, walks, and homers do. This statistical condemnation is the weapon used to keep his price low. But here is the unexpected plot twist, the deep market irrationality that reveals the league's arrogance. The failure isn't in recognizing Arias's lower power ceiling, it's in not recognizing the immense floor value and cost efficiency he provides. Let's look at the numbers.
The most valuable free agents, the power hitters like Kyle Tucker or Alex Bregman, are commanding hundreds of millions. Arias, the two-time hits leader, is projected to command maybe 2 years and $20 million, a figure often paid to middle relief pitchers. The tragic irony is that for a fraction of the cost, any club could immediately secure a lineup anchor that virtually guarantees a base runner 34% of the time, and who fundamentally alters the opposing team's defensive approach because they know he will put the ball in play. The real value is the insurance policy against the modern strikeout pandemic.
If 90% of the league is happy to strike out 150 times a year in search of a home run, how invaluable is the one man who strikes out only 25 times? The fact that a two-time hits leader is sitting unsigned, possibly because GMs are too prideful to admit they need singles, exposes a market that is so obsessed with the ideal power profile that it actively ignores a generational artisan. This isn't just about baseball. It's a commentary on how modern commerce defines success. If your excellence doesn't fit the current disruptive, high-risk aesthetic, you are left behind, no matter how masterful your craft. Arias is the last great artisan in a sport that now only rewards industrial production, and his unemployment is the most fascinating and depressing proof of how deep the launch angle revolution has sunk its claws into the soul of the game. The story of Arias proves that pure, specialized excellence, when it doesn't align with the trending valuation model, can be actively punished. If you found this dissection of baseball's market flaws compelling, please show your support by liking this video, sharing it with someone who misses the days of the batting champion, and subscribing to 609 True News for more fearless commentary. But I need to know, and this is the true test of your belief in modern baseball, if you were a struggling team looking for a reliable spark, would you gamble on the high-upside power hitter with a 30% K rate? Or would you take the absolute contact certainty of Luis Arias, even at the expense of home runs? Let me know your stance in the comments below.